100 here, 3v3 August Desert Gate, and look at this lineup I got for you. Tex is a Warboss, melee commander, walks through cover, good support, disruption and damage from the front lines, alongside Dark Riku as an Apothecary support commander, fights melee by default, has a target heal and a passive health regeneration aura. And rounding out blue team we have Angry Bird as a Techmarine, puts out some nice damage, starts off range combat, good utility, can build structures and repair. Red team, Toilailee plays the Grey Knight, brother captain, walk through cover, cannot be suppressed, durable, good damage and support. Wildbold went random and got an Imperial Fists Apothecary. And Gpipe rounding out red team as a Chaos Sorcerer. Good disruption and offense, has a bunch of spells. Here we see some Tzeentch worship infiltrating these units. Partially revealed units have a 20% damage resistance to ranged damage, and the Warboss does finish the cap and gets a heal as well from the Apothecary. East side, brother captain chasing down the Techmarine who will take the building. He's taking a lot of damage here. Now he needs to back off and now needs to retreat. In fact, look at this, Toilailee going for double Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, light infantry, decent damage output, can also get a sergeant to detect in tier 1. Are they going to shoot up these scouts? Nope, here come tactical marines from Angry Bird and they will back off. Tex pushing the west side hard, had backup from Dark Riku. Gpipe didn't stand much of a chance, but he gets away with just 2 heretic losses, needs to keep it to that, doesn't want to lose a Chaos Space Marine model to that Kraken Bolts. Backing off nicely and forcing off the Warboss here. Will he lose the Chaos Sorcerer though? No, 19 hit points, gets away. Nicely done from Gpipe. There's a heal from the Apothecary on those shooter boys. Double shooter boys incidentally from Tex. And here comes Wildbold now. It's Apothecary versus Apothecary. Imperial Fist Marines backing off from Dark Riku's. And Wildbold takes the building with his Apothecary. Will be able to shoot out of it with his... Oh, he has a Mastercrafted Bolter. That's why he took the building. Thought he was just going to pop shots with his bolt pistol out of there. And here we see full auto on those tactical marines. You can usually only knock down 1 model, perhaps 2 if they are close together with full auto, which is why it's so good versus commanders. And look at the damage this Apothecary of Dark Riku, needs to retreat. Some Kraken bolts on the Imperial Fists. Kraken bolts incidentally does work in close combat, so you still get that 20% boost versus heavy infantry. Let's look at the east side. Toilailee now has a Purgation squad. These guys incredibly strong at the moment. Side cannons perhaps overly so, but they do start with these incinerators, which are also incredibly strong, especially versus light infantry trying to run in, i.e. heretics. Won't be facing heretics today though. Look at the range they have. Tied up by Angry Birds tactical marines, this is dangerous. And there we see the suppression from the incinerators. Retreating back to the beacon, which was bad for them. Beacon goes down for Angry Bird, and he also lost his scouts. Bad engager for him. He's still around though, forcing melee on the Purgation so they can't fire, but not much else he can do. And retreats. West side, Gpipe pinned back here by Tex, who has some looters on the field. Got a big boost in elite compared to retail. Assault Marines on the field for Dark Riku. Wildbold also getting some. And big push on the east side by Toilailee. Purgation taking down gens. Will they decap? Nope, continue to burn. No sergeants on the Stormtroopers yet, which gives them a pretty nice damage boost actually. Here comes some Assault Marines jumping into those scouts. That's dangerous. Hitting them in retreat. And the Scout Sergeant perhaps saving them as they do so. There is full auto on the Warboss. Not quite knocking him down there. Here are Wildbold, Assault Marines jumping in and Scouts perish. Those are Dark Rikus, and I think they had a sniper gun. So that's quite a hefty loss. 418, 499. Lots of Assault Marines jumping around. Gpipe has double Chaos Space Marines, which can leave you vulnerable to an early vehicle, but otherwise very solid opening. heavy infantry fight range with their bolters, but are decent in melee as well. And now perhaps red team can push back. Tech's forced off, Dark Riku forced off. Where is Tactical Marines? They are back at base, level to 2, 402, 499. Wildbold's Assault Marines will whack on this node, will they? Brother Captain in retreat, knocking the crap out of everything. 393, 499, 2-1 cap for red, and Toilailee goes tier 2 first. Sniper scouts from Angry Bird, and we have triple sniper scouts trying to recover from those early losses. 384, 499 now. It's still a 2-1. Could they get a triple here? Tactical Marines decapping this VP. They will do so 50% faster than any other unit. And I think they're going to finish this cap if they can hold out against these shooters. Assault Marines could jump them. Look at the DPS that shooters put off. That's without the Nob Leader as well. And Tactical Marines perhaps lucky not to lose a model there. Here are Angry Bird snipers jumped by Assault Marines, caught in retreat. Can he get a model? No, Angry Bird would most likely not reinforce them anyway. Now we have some Tactical Marine Flamers from Dark Riku, or Flamer rather. You saw him hitting 2 generators at once there, and takes down a node and might get all 3 gens. Here comes the Brother Captain trying to tie them up, and does so. Purgation Squad also suppressing them. Jumped now by Assault Marines. They're going to get shot up by these las guns. No, Toilailee backing off here. Took out a Stormtrooper, now shoots up the Apothecary, and look at the damage going on him. Still level 1, 65 hit points. Gets a heal off on the Tactical Marines. Brother Captain still chasing, level 2 now. Angry Birds tax forced off. 359, 486, now a 2-1 for blue. What is Tex up to? He is coming to defend his power, charging in with Angry Bits. Fully kitted out Warboss. We have the Bang Bang Hammer, which is not a power weapon anymore. Still does hefty damage per swing, and of course buffs surrounding units damage. And it got the buff radius increased as well. Also has cyborg implants. Runs into a Havoc though, and needs to retreat. East side turning red, and they're pushing power here. Assault Marines leading the charge. Angry Bird has infiltration on all of his scouts. Very, very heavy tier 1 for him. An early vehicle could be devastating. If Toilailee could get a Dreadnought out, perhaps. He's suffering for resources at the moment though. Not sure why, he hasn't bled that much. We have a Sergeant on the way for Wildbold's Tactical Marines. Gpipe still pushing power here. Decapping in with Sorcerer. Will he finish it though? No, doesn't risk it. Stick bombers for Tex. Throw in their stick bombs. Havocs. Largely avoid it. Double CSM now stripping models off those shooters. Look at the damage going in. And one of them levels to 2. The other squad very nearly level 2. Here we see the side cannons from the Purgation Squad, insanely strong versus all targets. Apothecary needing to heal himself. Brother Captain goes down. And here come those snipers. One of them even has a Sergeant. Angry Bird goes tier 2. Is Dark Riku tier 2? He's getting some scouts of his own. Blood Crusher on the way for Gpipe. Seeing that the Warboss has the hammer, perhaps not expecting him to get a claw anytime soon, so goes for the Blood Crusher. And Warboss is forced to retreat. We see Purification Rites on Wildbold's Apothecary. That was the knockback and damage you saw there when he healed himself. West side, Greenskins push in. Here comes Wildbold though, has Tactical Marines with the Sergeant, Scouts with a Sergeant also. Both of which in heavy cover. Here come the stick bombs, and he needs to just retreat the hell out of there. Kills Sorcerer alongside the Apothecary now, and here are Assault Marines out taking big hits from those scout snipers. Good grief, almost lost the model in one volley, and they don't want to risk 2 models going down or something, so they back off before the next volley comes. 318, 451, 2-1 cap for blue. Pain Boy on the way for Tex. Triple scouts. Red teams need some more vehicles on the field. Toilailee perhaps saving for a dreadnought right now. We do have a blood crusher which can cause havoc amongst those snipers. Going after the Apothecary now. Dark Riku needing to heal himself and now retreats, and level 2 Apothecary improved medical equipment and armor of purity. Such a common war gear combo, very very powerful, and blood crusher goes down, melter gun finishes him off. This thing does 100 damage per shot now. Or is it 90? I think it's 100. Orbs are on this side also. 318, 427. Brother Captain still down. Purgation Squad capping with those very very dangerous side cannons. And we do see a Grey Knight Dreadnought on the way. Havocs are set up nicely. Suppressing this Warboss who is now level 2. Don't think he will waste his charge there, no. We see Hellfire rounds on the Tactical Marines, good versus Commanders and good versus Light Infantry. Makes them a very very popular ammo choice versus Orks especially. Here comes Sluggers though with their Nob Leader, and Wildbold's just misjudging that slightly, needs to just full retreat there, which is not going to help Gpipe out because now he needs to retreat and Blue can push. Perhaps this power, Havoc preventing that at the moment. Toilailee has plasma guns and recon kit on both of these stormtroopers. That's a lot of power spent on these guys, and they have sergeants. Well, one of them does. So that's 15 for the sergeant, 25 for the plasma guns, and 20 for the recon kit. That is crazy amount spent on these guys. They really need to pay for themselves here. They're going to lose models to these scouts and need to run away. 291, 424, Grey Knight Dreadnought on the field, armed with this multi-melter by default, but now has the plasma cannon firing while moving there, taking out a node. At the moment it does not do friendly fire or friendly knockback, which is not intended, so it's slightly overpowered right now. 291, 410. Grey Knight's still a work in progress, of course. Tactical Marines backing off here. These are Stern Guard veterans, first company. Tactical Marines can use their vengeance rounds versus that Razorback if they want, and I think they are right now. Plasma cannon almost getting a rear armor hit there. Double CSM from Gpipe. No upgrades for these guys that I can see, but they are level 2, and Gpipe going straight to tier 3 and floating tons and tons of rep. Look at the resources Wildbold is floating. He could go tier 3 as well. 291, 388. Perhaps Wildbold feeling secure right now, just waiting to see what comes, but he has gone tier 3 and has a plasma cannon back at base. East side is blue. Toilailee struggling to deal with these snipers. Here comes that Dreadnought though. Needs to be careful with this Techmarine running around with Orks and a melter gun and Signum armor as well. Can he finish him off? Here comes a Warboss with Claw. You see Maelstrom going off there. Doesn't seem to be slowing down the Warboss. Perhaps he's in charge is why. And he's going after this Dreadnought. I think it's 95 DPS the Claw gives. And down goes the Warboss to those side cannons. They are insane. No detailed tooltips for Elite, I'm afraid, because a lot of it is now out of date with all the changes that Elite made. Assault Marines of Wildbold down to 2 models, down to 1 model, and just about getting away there. Here comes Dark Riku, preserving this Razorback. Gpipe getting no tier 2 units, and because of that a lot of pressure on red team here. Plasma cannon, can he get a shot off? No, tied up by the Assault Marines. They have their sergeant, gives them a power sword, and those devastating plasma cannon guys are feeling it. They do get away without a loss though, and this is going to be decapped. Blue team might get a 2-1. East side is still red. Plasma cannon Dread needs repairs. Stormtroopers are the repair unit for Grey Knights. You have infiltrated Stormtroopers here. Brother Captain back to his feet, and he is fully kitted out now. This is where all of Toilailee's resources have gone. He has the Nemesis Force Halberd, splash damage, power, weapon, Blessed Aegis, and the Teleporter 274354. Lots and lots of pressure by blue, now hitting power. Mark of Zinch Havocs gives them a las cannon forced off by Dark Riku's Apothecary, who's now level 3, still using his default chainsaw. The Assault Marine's jumping in. Wildbold has a kind of ranged blob here, which is right pickings for Assault Marines. Now moving in, and Terminators on the field for Gpipe, Chaos Terminators I should say, Twin Link Bolters and Power Fists, taking big missile hits though from those attacks of Dark Riku, using And They Shall Know No Fear to go up against his Assault Marines in melee and forcing them off here. Here comes some Orks. You see the demoralization effects of the Chaos Terminators killing stuff there. 274, 335. Angry Bird forcing off Toilailee again, and the Dreadnought has gone down, taken down by this Techmarine. I would think he's level 3 now, and we might see a triple cap from blue. Tex with this Pain Boy, support sub-commander for Orks, has a damage over time power melee weapon, can heal and also detonate an allied boy. He also has his implant equipment, can permanently buff a single infantry squad. Not sure who he's used it on, perhaps those sluggers, if he's used it at all yet. Devastator plasma cannon now set up. Brother Captain almost level 3, teleporting somewhere. After this Razorback getting a big rear armor hit with that halberd. Triple cap still for blue. Brother Captain now level 3, not sure why he leveled up. Here comes some sluggers, supported by the Pain Boy. There is Swampum. No longer breaks suppression, but you still get the 50% damage resistance to range fire, and Tex needs to retreat. Because we have Vanguard veterans for Wildbold. First Company Assault Marines with Lightning Claw, 2 Power Swords and a Thunder Hammer. These guys kick ass in melee. Wildbold floating a lot of resources here. .274, 212. Angry Bird pushing hard on the east side. Toilailee struggling against those snipers. 274, 202. Got the Dreadnought to counter them, but the Dreadnought was countered by the Techmarine. 274, 193. Razorback still going for Dark Riku, done well with this thing, and now has some Terminators on the field. Power Fists and Storm Bolters. Plasma Cannon, big hit on the Warboss. He does get away though, I think. Has Hellfire rounds acid on him. Vanguard veterans decap, lose the model and retreat. 274, 188. Red team really need to push. Chaos Terminators now. No weapon upgrade for these guys. What was that? Was that Schedule of the Rift? I think it was. Teleporting these Terminators into danger. Stone Guard veterans in trouble though, caught between shooters and Terminators and back off. Big plasma cannon hit. Wildbold needs to be careful though. These guys have one model. Gets another big hit on the Terminators and then retreats. Nice play. Chaos Terminators now a bit low. Here come those side cannons though. They are hugely outnumbered, so will be forced off. 274, 185. Swampum being used, boosting their speed. And they might take these guys out. No, 29 hit points, they do get away. Assault Marines, or rather Vanguard veterans jumping in to save them, but it wasn't needed. Huge pressure from blue. This Razorback has been awesome, allowing all of this infantry to reinforce, now being repaired by those scouts. The Apothecary of Dark Riku did go down though. Red's constantly pushing back, or at least trying to. We saw a heal there from Wildbold on those Chaos Terminators, such heresy. 263, 182. Stormtroopers forced off. Haven't really done a whole lot, have they, for all of the resources Toilailee has spent on them. Vanguard veterans now going after the Razorback. They don't have the Power Fist upgrade though, so turn their attention to the Stick Bombers, who just turned level 2. Now caught in melee though. Get some special attacks on the Vanguard veterans there. Dark Riku's Apothecary leveling to 4. Still with his default chainsaw though. Vanguard veterans backing off, didn't have much support there. Gpipe needs to move the CSM up. Very difficult though to keep track of all your units in a big 3v3. 263, 149, and blue team looking very strong. We have a librarian on the field for Dark Riku, support sub-commander for Space Marines. Was a nice artillery spell. Brother Captain is almost level 4, trying to chase down this very effective Techmarine of Angry Bird. Losing that beacon and those scouts early looked painful. Lost a couple of tactical marines as well, didn't he? But has recovered very well with these triple snipers. Perhaps sensing it as a weakness for Grey Knights to deal with, since they have quite an expensive dreadnought and only one artillery unit, which is the dreadnought. 262, 136. Marco Zint CSM with Eternal War, almost level 3. These guys, the other guys are level 3, and this Razorback is still trucking, popping smoke here, granting cover to these scouts. And look at this, we have some flash kits on the field for techs, and they have their blasters. Gives them these artillery weapons, big plasma cannon hit, but they have a 10% chance to backfire and knock the flash kits on their asses. 245, 136 is a 1-to-1 cap. Going to be a 2-to-1 Angry Bird taking east side, and has a Land Raider Redeemer on the field. Very difficult for them to deal with. Look at this. It's an orbital bombardment. I thought Toilailee was calling in a Land Raider Crusader there. The scouts got caught big time. That's 2 squads of them. Look at the damage. Only because they're level 3 did they survive. And they can reinforce around the Land Raider now. Angry Bird didn't seem too bothered all in all. And he now has some Terminators, good grief. Storm Bottles and Power Fists inspiring nearby Space Marines because they destroyed a generator for the Emperor. 245, 118. Look at the map control now for blue. Absolutely overrunning red pretty much. Psy Cannons on the way though, level 2, almost level 3. Need to fire on the Razorback. Look at the DPS that they do, it's crazy. Forced off there though. Vanguard Veterans jumping in. Need to use Merciless Strike on that blob, I think. Here comes the rest of Wildbold stuff. Tome of Subjugation on the Terminators though. Now under the control of Gpipe. Lots and lots of stick bombs going in. Razorback is still there supporting all of this stuff. Been expertly used by Dark Riku here. 245, 79 Terminators teleporting out now under the control of Dark Riku again. You have an auto cannon on his Chaos Terminators. Good versus all targets. Look at the damage the Razorback's taking. And there we see, what is it called? Robes of Torment, of course. Chains of Torment on those Terminators. And the Razorback was taken down by rear armor hits from that auto cannon. Very dangerous with this mobile auto cannon, these Terminators. By far the most popular choice for them, besides their lightning claws. And a big push. Orks avoiding those dark flames. Ouch. Lots and lots of damage to the Orks, but they seem to get away largely intact. And here we have a battle wagon for techs. And Wildbold has a Land Raider of his own, 245, 45. Angry Birds is parked on the east side. Brother Captain taken down by the snipers again. Wildbold wants to get close and use the grenade barrage, I think. It looks like Gpipe is also coming east side. Battle wagon is chasing. Warboss now level 4. Dark Riku's Apothecary level 4 now has the Sanguine Chainsword. Angry Bird level 4, very nearly level 5 though. Toilailee has almost nothing, just has his Purgation. Really could have done with a strike team in tier 1, I think. He now has Grey Knight Terminators though, 245, 22. They might not make it to the battle, they need to walk out of HQ. Here we see the demoralization again caused by the Chaos Terminators killing stuff. Orbital bombardment, that might have been Toilailee, perhaps Wildbold, I'm not sure. 2459 is a 2-to-1 cap, and it's desperation for red team. Wildbold loses his Land Raider, and there is the GG. 2-to-1 cap, and blue team strolled into it pretty much when they hit tier 2. Toilailee really struggling versus the snipers. Here are the Grey Knight Terminators. Whoops. Didn't see them in action. And there you have it. Grey Knights got rolled on this side. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.